This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to Potsy and Tino on the Potsy and Tino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, apparently he's having an epileptic seizure over here. Welcome to the Potsy and Tino Show.
Bitch.
He's Tino Gray. I'm Rob Potsy Potchak. Welcome to the new year, and welcome to the Potsy and Tino Show. Our theme song is always brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called the Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents.
99.
Thank you to Cody Rhodes for that awesome intro.
No pay.
What?
No pay.
He's got one now. Dude's actually like 240 legit pounds, like me, where I need to lose like 50 of those. But he's like jacked now. So, Tino, we've already got somebody in the audience. We've got Michael Turner. Hello, sir. We apologize for being a little bit late. Tino and I were talking about something that we're not going to talk about on the air.
No.
Maybe a little bit of it.
And not if it leads into a long conversation like
No, you were talking about the Mercedes Moné stuff.
That one. Okay.
So, yeah, of course, we were talking about like pro wrestling. But we wanted to get our ducks in a row and everything else and go from there. But, Tino, we always, every week. And by the way, we did over 40 episodes last year.
That's all?
I'm sure we did more.
Oh.
I just said 40 plus because I literally was like, how many weeks did we miss? Only like 5.
Well, it's 52 weeks in a year.
Right.
So, yeah.
So we probably did like 45 to 47 episodes in the year, but
us being on vacation and family shit coming up, so yeah.
And Matthew being hit by a car.
Family shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But we always do a segment called...
So speaking of, what's up with you? So speaking of Matthew, that's why it made me giggle. So for Christmas, I decided I need to go with him because if I don't, they'll come home and do crazy shit because that's what my mom did when I was 16. We went and let him get his ear pierced. Now originally he was just going to get the one.
Do you have your ears pierced?
I've had my ears pierced.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't look at your ears.
Yeah, I've got 4. I did 2 in each ear. Since you know me.
So you're never mind. Continue. Matthew got...
I'm married to get ass. You're the one single with your hand, so... Tell me I'm gay.
I did not.
You started to.
But I didn't.
You're super...
But I didn't because...
I read your mind. I knew you were going, you raggedy bitch.
Would you talk about Matthew wanting his ears pierced?
So he's going to go get the one. So all right, cool. And then I guess, it's the boy thing. So his friends must have 2. So he's like, oh, can I get 2? All right, cool. So he's just got like stud in each ear.
Does he want them in the casts?
He's already got the cast out.
No, does he want?
No. So we went and got his ears pierced day before yesterday. Well, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. So it was cool. He's excited. So now I got to remind him, dude, you got to clean that shit they says 3 times a day for like 3 weeks. And so the first night he came home, they didn't, when they pierced it, she said, I'm not going to put the back on real tight because you want
to be able to clean it.
Yeah, well, the bitch, with the back of this one.
Did it fall off?
It fell off. So he's like, my ear. So we had to take it out, trying to find the back, trying to put it on. And in the process, it started closing. So Nicole had to
Oh, I bet Nicole loved that moment.
Yeah, because
she did.
No, she didn't. Because he's like, so I went and got ice, and so we could numb it up. But these sausages, I couldn't get my fingers around it, so we had to go get Nicole to do it. So we got it back in.
You're talking about your fingers, the sausages.
Yes, sausages.
Gotcha.
And so we got it. He got his earring back in. We went the next day to Claire's again and said, "Look at this shit." I said, "Okay, all right, yeah." So I looked online and I was like, "Well, what if this other back falls off?" I'm like, "Can you buy piercing backs?" Well, apparently on Amazon you can buy a fucking piercing kit, the gun, and everything they use.
Absolutely, you can.
So I'm like, I didn't want to buy the whole kit, but I was like, okay. So they had like starter piercings. There's like 20 of these bitches for like $10.99. I'm like, if you lose one bitch, you got another right here.
Dude, it's literally like going to Disney and saying, hey, I want to go ahead and get your pin set. And they're like, well, do you want to get this little thing that goes on the and it's like the little tightening
Yeah.
in with the Allen key.
No,
Like,
they've actually got the gun
But-
they use
but
at
yeah,
Claire's. I could have done this at home instead of paying $50
you should have.
I didn't know I could. Now I do.
Do you remember back when you got your ears pierced at Claire's? It was like $12.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like everything else, that shit like quadrupled in price.
Well, when I went to go, like one of Nicole's Christmas gifts, I wanted her, when we first started dating, I got her this sapphire necklace. It was gold chains, real. It was pretty. It was like, so she lost it, like it broke. No, it's a necklace, bitch.
That would have been weird.
Shut up. Anyway, so she lost. So I was gonna get her one for Christmas, and I'm looking and fucking gold. I mean, the little gold necklaces with the sapphire on it. She was like, damn, $800-900. Like, what the fuck? When I bought it when we were dating, the shit was like $150. And so I'm like, okay, so no to that. And so maybe I get a bracelet. It was the gold because she won't wear silver. I found silver all fucking day and it wasn't expensive. So
not anymore.
No, silver still was cheaper.
It's still cheaper.
So for the $500-600 for the gold chain with the sapphire, I could have got the same one for $150-200
right now.
Yes,
that's not real silver.
It is real silver.
No,
it's sterling
it's
fucking silver.
Probably silver plated.
No, that was sterling silver.
Wow.
Yeah, it's because I went to a real jewelry store. I didn't, and so
you went to Jared.
I went to Jared. I went to Zales.
You went to Zales.
Well, Kay's. I mean, that's where I did go there first because that's where we used to get all our jewelry. I ended up getting her sapphire earrings. They were fucking.
Dude, you got to start going to like local guys because
I did. I went to one we go to an all time in Apex, and they were still.
Well, they're all. I mean, like that shit has. I mean, where we all sit there and think food has like. I went grocery shopping this week.
Food's definitely going. Oh, I'm gonna keep talking. We went grocery shopping too. Did you see what I put on Facebook?
No, but I spent $130 on a week's worth of groceries.
That's where the eggs are supposed to be, motherfucker.
Oh, there aren't any. Yeah. Yeah,
that's where the eggs are supposed to be.
Well, see, that's why I started doing the egg whites because people don't buy that shit. It's like $4.69 for 22 eggs worth of egg whites. And I'm like, well, shit, that's half the price of eggs.
Yeah.
So I sit there and I buy that. And I prefer egg whites over the full egg anymore anyway. But dude, $130 for a week's worth of growth. Not even 2 weeks. Like a month ago, $130 2 weeks. You got 4 people living in the house.
3.
Matthew eats for 2.
Yeah. That's why we go to Costco.
Sorry, folks. The reason why you see me sitting there holding onto my shoulder, I'm not having a heart attack. I literally, so months ago, I have a pinched nerve.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My doctor even admitted, yeah, it seems like a pinched nerve because you can't feel these 2 fingers and you got this and this. And I'm like, okay, well, it just gets kind of like numbing or whatever from time to time. Last night, I go to bed and I got 8 hours of sleep. Mm-hmm. And I don't ever get 8 hours of sleep, Tino. Yeah, of course I did. Okay. I wake up about 7 hours after I go to bed. And I'm like, all right. I took the CPAP off at that point because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna roll around. I'm gonna lay with my head down. You know, like all the things that you're not supposed to do when you wear a CPAP. Okay, cool. Because you have to. Yeah. like
shooting you in the eye.
Well, because I pull the damn thing down to where it's like a snork. It's like coming off right here and it's going over and all of a sudden I wake up and it's like over here and I'm like, okay, just take the shit off, right? Well, I wake up after my full night's sleep and I go to get out of bed and my shoulder always hurts. So I'm like, okay. And then I roll a little bit further to get out of bed and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I literally, I can't lift my arm above here right now. And I use my massage gun for 4 hours today on this shit.
Could get you a cortisone shot. That'll do it.
That I immediately was like, what? I either need a cortisone shot or I need to go to the chiropractor.
Cortisone shot.
I mean, both.
Yeah.
Both will do it. But I mean, I was sitting there like shooting it with the damn massage gun, doing all that stuff because obviously I told you I got a massage gun for Christmas, and I'm like, okay, that feels good, that feels good, that feels good. And as soon as I lift my, oh no, I'm done, nope. And I immediately, because we're in the new year, and I got my reset on my time off. I started going, I'm not taking the day off. I'm not taking the day off. And my job has been like crazy fucking busy for like the last week.
Mm.
And I'm like, I can't take the day off. I can't take the day off. And every time I lift my arm, I'm like, I should ask
take the day off.
I should ask for it. And I didn't, and I made it through the day, and I'm like,
taking any kind of like ibuprofen at least, because that'll help the inflammation.
So I'm allergic to ibuprofen.
Oh God.
So I took 2 Aleve.
Okay.
So twice as much as you're supposed to in a 24-hour period. Took 800 milligrams of Tylenol. And then still was like, okay, is there anything else we can take in the house? Like,
try to ice it. I don't know if that'll help.
No, but like I said, I put the gun on it and I mean, I made it through the day, but like I literally, still, I'm like,
maybe try to go like get a hot shower, like the hot water.
I did that in the morning. Yeah, dude. I mean, I was like, I'm holding it this way, and I'm trying to like stretch it out as far as I can, and then I do this, and I'm like, there's nothing.
Wow.
Okay. So I'm hoping it's just irritated, and when I go to sleep tonight, when I wake up tomorrow, okay, it hurts a little bit, because it always takes a couple days now. You get to that age, folks. But what I was like, why can't I like what the fuck is going on with this shit? Anyways, so what else went on with you?
Let's see. So we did that.
Sorry, because I jumped in
and went back to work. So we thought last week I thought I was supposed to go back to work Monday. So Sunday night, one of my coworkers goes, "Are we working tomorrow?" I'm like, I fucking thought so. But then they they found the
Tuesday.
Holiday thing.
Tuesday.
Like, oh, they're honoring Monday. Well, yes, get an extra day.
Yeah. So I learned this about that. It's if the holiday is a Sunday, you get Monday off. If the holiday is a Saturday, you get Friday off.
Okay.
So yeah.
So I was like, hell yeah. But then I got to like 2 days yesterday, Tuesday, yesterday, and today. Because I was already on vacation 2 weeks. So that's 2 weeks worth of emails and phone calls. I'm like, So it kicked my butt for a little bit, but it was cool. Looking for, and then this weekend, like I told you earlier, I was when I got here, I was texting back and forth. I am doing and this has been booked since August or something. It's a birthday / prom thing. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it. So they want a lot of 80s, 90s, 2000s kind of like just regular songs and older rap songs. There's gonna be a lot of, I'm sure, like Skilo and probably get some just Dougie Fresh Craven. A bunch of fun stuff. Will Smith, a bunch of fun stuff I can get to play. So the stuff I like. So I'm gonna have a ball doing that with them. And then Saturday hit the road and go to Hickory. So I was telling you it's gonna be a pretty profitable weekend for me this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that.
Good deal.
So what's up with you? Listen.
Well, I was telling you about a signing.
Is that this weekend?
No, it's the 21st. My buddy Troy is doing a signing at Ultimate Comics Carry, and I saw the advertisement for it. So I checked my ego at the door.
That's pretty much at the bottom line. That's what it is. I love you, but that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning of that signing, I'll be there. And depending on how the day is going or whatever, will determine whether or not I fulfill the entire time. Because I do need to I want to do some community service and stuff like that, and like give back to the community on certain things. So I'm gonna do that stuff too. So depending on how it all lines up, we'll figure all that out. But regardless, I added a little bit to the logo that I showed you last week.
Okay.
So I'll show you that after the show.
For the new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I started basically like interviewing, and when I say interviewing, I want samples from different artists that I really think would make this story pop, right? Now a lot of them still have to have the same kind of theories and thought processes of me, which is, hey, you might not get paid up front, but you get paid on the back end.
This is for the HB.
HBH, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm excited because the guy that the first guy, like I've got two that I'm talking to right now, but the first guy that I actually sent to, and I said, hey, your style is gonna really do something crazy with this, and that's kind of what I'm going for. He was like, well, I like crazy, right? And then he read it and he goes, I can totally see why you think that my style would work crazy with this, but I got to figure out how to wrap my head around it. So he said he's going to start sending me stuff this week to see whether or not we can come to an agreement on the style. And I think as soon as I start seeing artwork coming from the artist for it, I'm going to be able to sit there and go, okay, I can finish writing this real quick.
All right.
You know, like, because right now, I'm not going to say I'm in a holding pattern or anything. I know how the book ends. I know how the third issue goes. But like the second issue, I really want the artist to have a lot of interpretation on, you know? So I'm pretty excited about that. Talked a little bit to the artist of Immortal. He's gotten back, you know, last week he sat there and said he had an injury happen, so he hasn't been able to draw.
Okay.
But then he posted a piece of artwork that, you know, has said, hey, getting back in the swing of things. So I'm hoping to start like announcing more of that. Because I really want that book out this year. And then I got another artist who's been messaging me back and forth since Fayetteville Comic-Con, who's really good. And he basically said that he really wants to do a book that I was writing that's like a family-friendly superhero comic. And between me and my buddy Saren, who used to do Primitive Screwheads with me, him and I wrote like the first 3 issues of the book. But then he kind of fell off the map and was just trying to get his work life and family life and everything else taken care of. But recently, like he came out to my birthday party and everything, and he's like, fuck yeah, dude, I want to get back into writing. Okay, well, you know, and I told him, I was like, I want to change this, I want to change this, I want to change this, and, you know, then see if we can actually get that story like moving. And he's like, totally, let's do this. Like, let's set up a meeting, let's do that, blah, blah, blah. So that's mostly been what's been going on with me. New Year's Eve, went to my sister's house. And then, you know, Christmas, I went to your place.
Yeah.
But New Year's Eve, went to my sister's house. My nephew, Drew, actually came over and spent the night at my place.
Here?
Yeah.
You drive?
No, we took a Uber from my sister's house over back here because I didn't even drive over to their place. But you know, like it's interesting to know that my nephew Drew is now 18 and he's wanting to spend time with me.
That's cool.
Yeah, because like, you know, when he was like 6, he was like, "Who are you?" You know, and I was like, "Well, fuck you too, little kid. Whatever, you know, whatever." But so that's really all that's been going on. Work has been fucking crazy. Like a lot going on with my day job. I will say this about my job, and then we can jump right into pro wrestling because there's
I forgot to do the other thing we said.
What's
up with you? Just wanted to say.
Oh yeah.
3 deaths. We had Barbara Walters.
Baba Wawa.
Baba Wawa. So then on the same day as Barbara Walters, we lost Don West. I can't believe that. And that
Don West from TNA.
Yeah, that you didn't even know that.
Yeah, I did.
That was the voice. He was the voice of TNA, dude.
Did they try to offer his spot to like as a sales thing?
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
I was because he wasn't. What's
just me being a jerk.
He wasn't with Impact anymore. So, and then that was yesterday, the day before we lost. Dustin Runnels lost his mom. His mom passed away.
Yeah, not Dustin Runnels. He's still with us.
Yeah, his mother.
But his mom passed away.
So those are the three things I wanted to hit on. So rest in peace to them all. You said you had one more thing? Sorry, I just forgot I was supposed to do it through my. What's up with you then?
No. Oh, when it comes to work. So my job, I work in big pharma, right? And I won't say who I work for or anything like that because I don't want to jeopardize my job while I'm doing this silly little like YouTube show or whatever. But so about November, I knew I needed time off near Thanksgiving,
right?
Time off near my birthday,
right? And
time off near Christmas, right? So I asked for all of it off, got all of it approved.
Now Thursday, Thanksgiving, didn't you already have? Did they?
I had Thursday and Friday off,
okay.
but I wanted like Wednesday off, because I was like,
gotcha, yeah, makes sense.
You know, in case anything's going, Wednesday would be great because it's normally a really slow day.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden, like everybody else takes it off,
yep.
and when everybody else takes it off, it's not
busy.
slow anymore.
Yep.
You know, but. So I put in, and actually it was because I had like a dentist appointment, a doctor's appointment, court appearance for something dumb, and then I wanted my birthday and the day after my birthday off because my birthday is the 22nd of December, 23rd of December, 24th, 25th, and then you get 26th off because that's the holiday, right? Well, I put in all the time off, get it all approved. Then all of a sudden, come middle of November, they're like, hey, even though we approved this time off in December for your birthday, you can't take it anymore.
Why?
Like, you don't have the time.
I remember you. Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? I don't have the time.
Oh, you said because they changed the pay.
So there was two different companies doing the pay stuff. Correct. However, and Howard Finkel would say it as,
don't. You got 55 minutes.
There's a lot to go through tonight.
You better speed up.
But they're like you don't have that time available, and I'm like, bullshit, I don't. Like, your website is completely wrong based on how much time you say that I have versus how much time I do have and everything else. Like let's go ahead and tell me how much time I have. So the year that I've taken off, and it shows that I'm 3 days over. And I'm like, I literally have looked at this and created a spreadsheet to determine that I am not 3 days over. So what are the discrepancies? Turns out, folks, my company, Big Pharma, offered us COVID time off when you actually were with COVID.
Did you?
So I had COVID January 19th through January 21st. I get this spreadsheet that says you took January 19th, 20th, and 20th off, 21st off. And that's why you don't have any time off.
But they gave it to you.
So I put in for the time off, told them the reason I was off. And you know what they did?
Took it out of your PTO.
They took it out of my PTO.
So they owe you 3 days.
So they owe me 3 days.
Did they see it like that?
Well, they do now. The problem is that for the last 2 weeks, I've been trying to figure out what the fuck the problem is.
So now what?
So that I could get it done before the new year started.
Didn't happen, did it?
No, of course not. They literally on January 3rd said, hey, we've applied that time back into your account.
So you have 3 extra days now.
I don't know because I sent a message to them asking, hey, do I get the 14 and a half hours you guys didn't pay me for December now? Or do I just get 3 days of vacation extra this year? Nothing. 3 days now. Nothing. They haven't replied to the fucking message. So my assumption is that they're going to just go, well, those are carryover days from last year. And I just didn't get paid this week. Like, I got my paycheck, it's $300 less.
No, sir. No, sir.
Now, interestingly enough, I can live off that. And here's why. Because that's no more than I used to make at GameStop. And I didn't change my living expenses.
Yeah, you did. You weren't here when you got this place after you left GameStop.
I pay less for this place than I did my apartment. So literally, yes, I can live off the 2 weeks. Do I want to? No, I want them motherfuckers to pay me for the $300 after taxes that I would have gotten paid.
Makes sense.
Like, how fucking crazy is that shit?
Makes sense. All right.
So yeah, so that's, and like I said, not gonna mention the company, not gonna do anything like that. Don't want to get fired. But here's where I had a real problem with it. I send the message to my boss. My boss is like, yeah, message into the HR thing that you're supposed to. The HR people sit there and send something back that says, hey, send this back in, blah, blah, blah. I email her directly because I saw the name. And she, snarky, sits there and says back, please make sure that you send back the thing in the website that they want you to request that through. When I went to the website 2 hours later, she had posted in there something to get me to actually like fill out the request for change in PTO versus COVID time. Which our company doesn't offer COVID time anymore, but back when I asked for it, they did. If she had put that in the email, I would have sent it in before the New Year's break. But because she sat there and said, please go back to the website and fill this out and do this and do this and do this, she never said that she put a document in there. And then, Tino, I can't complain because who do you complain to? You complain to HR. She's fucking HR! Luckily, I'm getting at least the hours recredited back, and then we'll figure out whether or not they're going to pay me out the $300 that they owe me. Maybe what I do is I wait until after they give me a raise and then put it through so that then they give me but they won't. But anyway.
Comments. We got to figure out what's going on with comments.
Oh, comments?
Let's see if anybody's saying. Just make sure.
Oh, we got Chris Barrett and Michael Turner in the audience. So let's see what Michael Turner had to say. Michael Turner says, no, let Vince settle all and don't let Vince back in WWE. And yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. Chris Barrett says, Michael, Vince will sell if we let him back in. I don't think so. I say just leave him out Interrel. The problem is that you got the Cove. I don't know what. Yeah, I think he's talking about me. So Tino, wrestling.
Yes.
Where do you want to start?
So what?
Thursday would have started with
No,
SmackDown.
Thursday was Impact. Friday was SmackDown.
Who talks about Impact?
You said Thursday would have started with SmackDown. That's Friday night.
In our week.
Oh, okay. SmackDown. John Cena.
Apple juice.
So we thought they were going to lose that match. Remember? Because yes, she did. Because remember with Kevin, Kevin and Seth Rollins beat the Bloodline that Monday. You said it was probably because Cena and Owens were going to lose to Sammy and Roman Reigns.
So I
You
gave
said that on the show.
So you're right. I probably did. I did give more thought to it, and I suddenly started thinking that John Cena would take an L, or Sami Zayn would take an L. And if Sami Zayn takes an L, it starts causing dissension between the bloodline. So, interestingly enough, though, the story behind the match wasn't the most important thing on social media. The most important thing on social media was John Cena's hairline.
I noticed that when he turned, because Nicole was watching with me, and he turned. I froze it. I said, "Look at that! That motherfucker had a yarmulke." I'm like, he needs to go back to the buzz.
However,
and he keeps.
However,
I swear to fucking God, you got one.
I can't help it, dude. You try it. Just try it out. Say it. No, say it. Say it.
I don't want to.
It's fun.
No, it's not. Anyway, so what about John Cena's hairline?
In a movie, they can always digitally add more back.
Technically, he could have. They didn't need to be in the movie. They just could have spray painted.
I mean, they could have spray painted the hair in like they did in the 90s. I agree, but what I mean is literally like when he's in films,
yeah,
they can digitally add it back in. So, but someone sat there and said to me, they were like, Rob, why is he even trying to grow hair then? And I said, because they want him to have most of it, so that way when they have to add it in, they add in less.
Yeah, but he's known for that buzz cut, because that military Marine style buzz cut.
But since he's been an actor,
I know he needs. I agree, but he needs to go back to the buzz cut.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I think that it's bullshit.
Channing Tatum has a buzz cut, and it works for him. I think a lot of movies, and I've been watching Channing Tatum movies. A lot of movies that he does, I see John Cena doing. He's like John Cena. John Cena can.
Except he's 10 years younger than John Cena.
Yeah, but John Cena can still do that movie.
But he's 10 years younger.
Doesn't matter. Anyway,
you're saying that you want an older guy to do Channing Tatum movies. That's what you're saying.
Like the Kevin Hart movie. Like, that'd have been good. That'd have been good.
Well, they did have somebody before Kevin Hart. They had Chris Tucker.
No, I said Kevin Hart and Channing Tatum. In that movie he did, the Me Day or whatever he did. I said, I can see John Cena doing it. Anyway.
Either way, my point is that
the Bullet Train movie. I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Who was that instead?
Brad Pitt? Yeah, but Channing Tatum's part in that could have been John Cena. He has the comedy chops to do that.
The 30 seconds that he was in the movie?
More than 30 seconds.
Was he?
Yes, sir.
Channing Tatum?
I digress. Come on. Because there's someone else I want to talk about SmackDown.
So go ahead.
I want to know why
Charlotte Flair won.
Can come back and fucking get the belt in the first night back.
So I was thinking about this. And initially I was pissed.
Yes.
I knocked over something and I was like, what the fuck, right? Then I started thinking, and I was like, but the return bout could happen at Royal Rumble, which means, hold on, which means no Ronda and no Charlotte in the Royal Rumble. I'm completely okay with that. And I don't care enough about Ronda or Charlotte having that title to where it makes me sit there and go, well, why did they do it? My thing is that they were sitting there going, okay, December 30th, we're coming back after an extended period of time off, right? How do we get people sitting there going, fuck, I missed SmackDown? Women's title change and John Cena return.
And how they turn it on Bray Wyatt.
And what?
Uncle Howdy turn it on Bray Wyatt. The fuck was that?
I don't think Uncle Howdy was ever with Bray Wyatt. So I don't know if it's a turn.
Sure.
You know, because Bray Wyatt kept saying, I'm not the guy you should be getting mad at.
And even I didn't know what the fuck was going on. What's your boy's name? LA Knight was like, what's going on? I mean, everybody's like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Yeah, although LA Knight's sitting there going, yeah. What?
That'd be awesome.
Although I will tell you, the one thing that I loved about LA Knight that night was when the crowd was trying to say, what? And he's like, shut up, dummies. I'm trying to talk here.
No. My favorite part, they were like, what? He said, huh? They were like, what? Huh?
And then he's like, shut up, dummies. And that's how you own them, right? Because they eat it up, too. It's not like you just sit there and have them going, I said what? They sit there and they're like, fuck, he got us.
Yeah. Like, what, huh?
Fuck, he got us again.
That shit made me laugh.
It was great. It was great. I'm not gonna deny it. I'm not gonna. Like, it was good.
The whole trying to turn what's his name, Top Dollar, trying to turn him heel or whatever they're trying to do with him and Ricochet when they were making fun of Top Dollar when he tried to jump over the rope last week.
Top Dollar's already heel.
No, they were face
against Ricochet.
He's about to be yeah, I think but that's what they're doing. I think they're starting to. Which I don't care about them anymore.
Yeah, that's a fail. Bum, 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 bum. That's one of those. And there's been, unfortunately, a couple of those since Triple H took over. In fact, we probably could come up with a list of them. I'm not going to say we do it tonight. I'm just saying that we probably could come up with like Johnny Gargano. I don't think he's a...
They haven't, because they stuck him with Dexter Lumis. I think they shouldn't have. I think what they should have done, and you said it, and I kind of agree, bring Ciampa back and let them have a...
I think Ciampa's got an injury. And I think that's why they're waiting on that, because there is rumor that DIY is going to make a run. And dude,
even if they turn to each other and they feud with each other, I'm good with that too.
I would sit there and have them together for 6 months. Have them figure out a way to get half the belts off the Usos. Take the championship belts, have them sit there, whatever. And then 6 months in, SummerSlam, have them break up because they do exactly the same story they did in NXT.
Yes.
Where when they lose and Ciampa's got Johnny by, they're walking out and in the bottom corner comes up saying the trademark information.
Yeah.
And then Ciampa throws them into the fucking thing. Yeah. And you sit there and you do the same damn thing.
Yeah. And
then you lead it to WrestleMania where those two guys, like I still, when the whole pandemic happened and they were, and Triple H was like, I'll give you guys a match at WrestleMania, or it was Regal, I guess. I'll give you guys a match at WrestleMania. And they're like, no, we want it at the NXT show like 2 weeks before it. And everybody's like, why the fuck would you want that? Like they're offering you fucking WrestleMania. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The SmackDown stuff. It's interesting to me because obviously Sammy took the L, right? John Cena really, really, really had to fight to get into the match.
Yes, I like that.
But he still looked okay.
Yeah,
like
I think he knows that he's not there 365.
Yeah.
So he gave them a time to shine, and I was cool with that. He tagged in at the right time, and he tagged, the double 5-knuckle shuffle was entertaining.
He still, the interesting thing to me though is that he still had like that when he's outside the ring and he's doing this, he's still trying to like raise the and the crowd's actually following.
Yes.
It's kind of like Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, when he's sitting outside the ring, is always and I still remember to this day when Jeff Hardy tried to do that when there wasn't any crowd.
I think that's part of that drugs. I'm not sure.
He was like, and they know, like he saw somebody, but we didn't. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah. So anyway, I know Tino wants to move on. John Cena's appearance, I thought was still maintained exactly what we hope for when we see John Cena. The only thing I didn't really like, because maybe I missed it, but did he cut a promo?
No, he did the whole thing. Usually when he comes out and he talks to the cameraman, and he said, Stu, I usually talk to you, but I'm talking to you guys. Thank you for putting on me for 20 years, da-da-da-da-da. Now let's go to work. And he ran to the ring. It wasn't like a promo. See,
I would have given John Cena promo time.
Well, again, I think John Cena knows. He's there to you know what I'm saying? He's not trying to, it's not the John Cena show. He's trying to make sure that the Bloodline and Kevin Owens get their shit in.
But you and I know that the more FaceTime and more mic time that John Cena gets.
Yeah, because he's in the movies, he's going to draw more people in.
Exactly. Just throw that phone anywhere. That's what I'm saying, is that, like, if you would have given him a minute and a half to sit there and just WWE Universe, I've been here 20 years, this, that, and the other. This is my first match this year. Can't believe that I almost missed it. Da, 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 da. Like, it would have raised ratings.
Well, he kind of did that the week before. Talking about when you sent me the text and he said you haven't been wrestled this year. He kind of did that.
Except anytime they do that on the
via satellite thing.
Via satellite, it's never as good.
Gotcha.
The last time that was good was, you know what Umaga means? Shriveled up monkey penis.
Oh no! It was when he was doing the thing with John Cena and talking about his fruity pebbles, and he's reading the newspaper. And little kid came.
But you know what I mean?
Kid came in like he was John Cena. Rock. Nobody can beat the Rock, dude.
Although the Rock having the shit written down his arm, John Cena caught him on that shit, right? So, but anyways, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that when it came to John Cena making his match, I'm glad he came back. I was happy to see him. I totally called it before they actually announced him for that match.
Okay.
But all in all, it's great to see John Cena back. It's great to see John Cena still maintaining his relationship with the WWE. It'll be really interesting this month to see who starts getting announced for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
But
Raw.
We're going to move on to Monday Night Raw.
A couple of things on Monday Night Raw. I think one of the things I want, that women's match, I thought was good, but I'm going to tell you what made it better is when you sent me that motherfucking TikTok with the split screen from Scary Movie and Raw. I'm like, that shit was hilarious.
Explain it to the audience, because they may not have seen it.
So Rob sent me on TikTok. So if you guys seen a Scary Movie, the
Wayans movie.
Yeah. So I can't remember that. Nia Long's character was fighting Anna Faris, and Anna Faris was like a demon chick or whatever, kind of like So she was supposed to be Alexa Bliss, and Nia Long was Bianca Belair. And if you put it side by side, the match that Belair and Bliss had went right along with the fucking movie.
The first 45 seconds of the match,
hilarious.
Like 1 for 1. I mean, when Bianca Belair held her head and she's starting to it literally was move for move directly from the movie.
They did it on purpose.
Oh, they did that on. There's no way that. Okay, there's no way that somebody noticed it and said,
"Yeah,
that's 1 for 1," and then put it in a TikTok, and it wasn't on purpose. There's no way. Yeah. I want to talk about that match, though.
Well, she fucking lost her mind at the end of that match.
Not just that. Early in the match, Bianca did something where Alexa looked like she broke her nose. Mm-hmm. And she had that red mark and maybe even blood. I couldn't tell if it was bloody.
Well, I think Bianca bloodied her nose too.
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So we talk about receipts. And Alexa had that red, bloody look under her, the little Hitler mustache of blood under her nose, and went through the whole match and looked like she was having trouble breathing because, I mean, if she broke her nose, she's going to have trouble breathing. And they did 2 DDTs onto the steps, and each one of them looked brutal. The first one, however, suddenly you saw like this little blood mark right here on Bianca. And by the second one, it was pouring out of her face.
I wonder what she hit. You think a tooth or a lip or?
I don't know. But Bianca posted a picture on Twitter like 2 days later, and her face is like swollen.
I hadn't seen it.
But I'm going to tell you.
Receipt.
It looked like they both got receipts.
Who got it first? Well, I think
Alexa got hit first, and I think she gave her receipt. And I don't even know if it was on purpose. I'm going to say, based on the professionalism that we've seen from Alexa over the entirety of her career, the only reason why I think that it would be a receipt is because something happened maybe at a house show and we didn't see it. Otherwise, I think it's just, hey, we want you to sit there and do a DDT onto the steps. And they both look brutal. Yeah. I'm not even going to lie. Like I went both times. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But when I saw, and it wasn't just red. Mm-hmm. It was like that deep red from arterial blood, and I'm like, okay, either this is fake, and they're doing real good with it, or something's really wrong.
I knew something was really wrong when Montez came out. And granted, that's her husband, but I think he saw that blood because she's been hurt before and he hadn't come out.
Well, I think this is a way to sit there and reel the moment.
Yeah, because they're going to do their little reality things, so maybe.
Yeah, because they did just announce that, and Montez has an album coming out in March.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So lots of other stuff going on with it, but I mean, like, it's the first time we saw her bloody.
Yep.
But I mean, it was pouring. It looked like a really nice paint color red, and I'm like, I don't know if that looks. But then all of a sudden I started like running, and I'm like, okay, that looks like it's deep.
So you had that. Then you had Becky, who ended up being Becky's partner first off. I can't remember who came out at the end.
Meechin.
So, and I think this was another TikTok.
Although, the Summer Rae.
No. Where Bailey not Bailey. Becky came out and did that stunner thing in the apron. She looked at Bailey, go, "Look, I did your move. I did it better than you."
Yeah, I posted. I said that one to you too. Yeah,
that I did. I was like, "Oh, that fucking was hilarious."
That was amazing, and I'm going to tell you, WWE needs to do more of that.
My whole
That was accidental. And the reason why I say this is because when
Becky.
When Bailey and her cronies were walking around backstage, Adam Pearce was talking to MVP.
Oh yeah.
Who had Shelton and Cedric there. And this is almost immediately after Adam Pearce said the Bloodline's not going to be able to run roughshod over Monday Night Raw.
So you think you'd be thinking her business is coming back? So they're gonna be. Would that make them face this time? Do you think they'll be able to hang with the because they're making the Bloodline like undestructible?
They're making the Bloodline the NWO at this point.
Okay, so do you think the Hurt Business is the key to that lock? You know what I mean?
So here's what I think, and I'm glad you asked, because what I really think is going to happen when you put the Bloodline versus the Hurt Business, do I think the Bloodline is going to beat the Hurt Business? The answer is, do I think the Bloodline? Did I say Bloodline over Hurt Business?
Yes.
Bloodline will beat Hurt Business. However, if you put the Usos versus the Hurt Business tag team of Shelton and Cedric, the Usos win. If you put Sammy versus or Solo versus Bobby Lashley, suddenly you've got a whole different.
So why not Bobby and Roman? So you think they put Sammy and Solo in the way to get to Roman? So if he gets to Roman, then what? Is he the one that's going to do it?
No, although I saw a TikTok this week from Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, and it basically said, if you don't find a way to put Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos for the tag team championships at WrestleMania, if you don't figure out a way to get that moving in that direction, nobody is going to believe anybody versus Roman besides Sammy. And I'm like, I think I've been saying that for 6 months.
But there's a small percentage people want to see Sammy and Roman.
No. We all. That's my point. Is that you got to figure out a way to put Sammy in a very high-profile match at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out a way to put Kevin in a very high-profile match at WrestleMania.
Why not a triple threat?
But more than anything else, you've got to figure out a way to not put Sammy versus Roman, because if you put Sammy versus Roman and Sammy doesn't win that match,
it's like when Mysterio didn't win the Royal Rumble.
No, it's like when Daniel Bryan
didn't win the Royal
Rumble. Show up in the Royal Rumble, and then Rey Mysterio, who has been a babyface his entire career, got booed out of the Royal Rumble. That's what we're looking at here, and I'm completely in agreement. If right now your number one babyface is Sami Zayn, and he's not even a babyface, but he's your number one babyface.
Yeah. All right. What's happening on Raw? Fuck.
We got more about Cody Rhodes.
I thought he was going to come out and do something with the Bloodline. The way they were, it almost seemed like he was going to come out.
No, I think they're implying, hey, expect him
the Royal Rumble,
not just in the Royal Rumble, but
Think he's gonna win?
Significant Royal Rumble. So expect him like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And last all the way through.
He might not make it to the end, but they're going to make sure that you are watching Cody Rhodes the entire Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
And by the way, we all know that the guy that lasts the longest in the Royal Rumble gets a push. The guy that throws the most people out gets a push. The guy that wins
gets the big push.
Gets the biggest push, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, who's that?
Blitzball Champ, what's up, Jason?
Oh, he's in.
We were talking about you.
So, Jason, I told him to send you a request to come on the show, and he said no. You did. Did you not?
I said I didn't want Jason to feel offended by you talking about orthopedic sketchers.
Well, I'm going to talk about Oscar's Ramble. I don't give it.
But we do want to go ahead and thank Jason for picking up tickets to the NXT, what's it called?
Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day, where we will be.
Well, we ain't
first
about NXT.
We are.
We'll be what? First what?
Well, we're first row.
Huh?
We're first row.
Like,
of bleachers.
Oh. I thought.
Yeah, we're not saying like I don't need all that anymore, man. I had to hold Jason back from getting beat up by the Briscoes one time. I don't need any of that anymore. But
what is he saying?
Oh, he's saying February 4th, let's go. And he said LOL with like 1,000 exclamation points.
Let him in. Let him in.
Yeah.
Out for a minute.
Oh, what did?
The whole screen went black.
See? That's why we can't invite him in.
Shut up. Wait, see,
it did it again. I just saw that actually.
Keep him in the chat. See?
He said first row, lower level. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm excited, dude.
Yeah. We're all excited. Like and NXT is finally something to be excited about again.
So
are we moving on to NXT?
Yeah. Jason's just in time.
Boom! Jason, if you want to join in the conversation.
Dude, the whole women's thing was fire. I like that whole.
Explain.
Who was it? It was Toxic Attraction was in the ring. They were whining about, we want to be the top of the division, but we're going to start with the person that's trying to bring down our empire. And they were talking about Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez, who reminds me of Sky Blue, because I was looking at Sky Blue. No, that's Cora Jade. Sky Blue looks like Cora Jade. But anyway.
I'm going to say, yeah, Sky Blue looks like Cora Jade. Not Cora Jade looks like Sky Blue, because Cora Jade was around longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was watching, I'm like, when is she? I'm like, oh, that's Sky Blue. But anyway, so.
I called that out on the Facebook group, by the way.
So they're in the ring, whining. Indy Hartwell comes out and says, no, it's me. And then all of a sudden, it's just all the ladies start coming out. Cora comes out. Nikita comes out. Man Dude, she comes out.
Man Dude.
Yeah. And then Wendy Chu comes out. And then so they start fighting, and then you get the champion. She's like, oh, cool, we're going to have a 20-woman battle royal, and the winner of that gets to fight me at Vengeance Day.
And it's Roxanne that they get to face.
Yes.
So let me ask you something. When Mandy first won the NXT Women's title, it was right as like Raquel Rodriguez was leaving to go to and we were sitting there going, man, that women's roster is really fucking like overloaded. Do you still feel that way?
Mm.
You feel it's overloaded?
Not really overloaded, but they've got a lot of that showed me last night all the talent that's there they need to start pushing.
So I guess what I'm asking is, originally we sat there and said the NXT with Raquel Rodriguez, we were sitting there going, this NXT women's division is like stacked over like what the main rosters 2 women's divisions were.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Raquel left, suddenly we were like, oh shit, Mandy Rose won that title.
Mm-hmm.
But then Mandy Rose did what?
She fucking carried.
Made $1 million fucking dollars in 6 days. No, I'm kidding. She carried the division for a fucking year, and then got let go and made $1 million in 6 days.
But she also, while she was there, she fucking put shine on a lot of these other girls. I mean, there's like the Cora Jays, the Perez. She fucking, even Wendy Chu. I mean, Zoe Stark. She put even though they lost, she put that shine on them that you could be.
I agree. I agree. Yeah. Like I to this day think that Mandy Rose did more for the women's division in NXT.
She fucking carried it. She fucking.
And unfortunately, Sean let her go because, well, we all know she made $1 million in 6 days.
So right now,
showing her boobies.
Right now, I think they're in the process of rebranding, rebuilding, because Perez is.
She showed her boobies. But Roxanne Perez did what? Because you're right. The 20-year-old Roxanne Perez
has a belt now, but she's got big shoes to fill to try to carry and build keep that women's division going. Don't drop the ball.
Did you see the interaction between certain Twitter posts when it came to Mandy being released? Like when she got released, there was somebody, and I don't think it was anybody like that really matters, but it said now that Mandy's been released, like the entire division took a step back, and she wrote preach. And then like a couple other messages came out, oh, we're gonna miss you, Mandy, and she's like I'm gonna miss you more, and blah blah blah. And then Roxanne finally posted one that said Mandy really showed the division what it was about, and she wrote I love you too, or something like that. So she gave props when Roxanne finally messaged about her, but at the same time, she also kind of like dogged the whole reason that she lost the belt. And I gotta be real with you, like Roxanne was a champion in another company. It's not that she wasn't. And I'm not going to say that she's necessarily ready to be a WWE champion, but NXT, yeah, absolutely, she's ready to be. And I'm going to say Mandy Rose was way ready to go to the main roster. Like you don't hold the NXT championship for 400 plus days and you're not ready to go. And we've already talked about how much she actually put into the whole process. Like she went from being an afterthought in the Otis is making out with some hot chick storyline.
Yeah, she did a fucking turn. She did a Trish Stratus.
She did more than that. She probably did like a Tori Wilson. Tori won the women's championship. You know what? It's tough because she was probably more like a Kelly that really, really cared about what she was doing.
Okay.
The reason why I say that is because Kelly ended up late in her career winning the women's championship.
But they were still the Divas champions.
But they were still the Divas. And this would have been like mixing with that.
What about one of the Bellas?
Maybe the later Nikki Bella's championship. Because I mean, by the time Nikki finally left, felt like she was like, I want to be the best at this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And nobody ever thought that Mandy was going to be the best at it. Chris Barrett says Roxanne was a champion as a teenager in a different company. Doesn't mean that she wasn't a champion.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that she didn't bust her ass to get there. So I still feel justified in my statement. Next up.
Whoa.
What do you want to talk about?
Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller back. So Grayson Waller said, "Yeah, how do you feel? How do you feel when you got Goldberg?" I'm like, "Oh shit!"
And they actually said it, which meant they finally admitted, "Hey, we stole the old story."
How feel when you got Goldberg? So
What did he say?
And then he's like, "Oh," because he was trying to rile him up. He was trying to get him pissed off.
And he said, "I'm not going to let him get into my head."
He's like, "Yeah, okay, good."
But he said that before the whole thing. I'm not going to let him get into my head. I'm not going to let him.
And he kept going here, and he was laughing about it. Yeah. What about this? And he stood up. What about this? And what about when you did this? What about when you did this? And he just fucking clocked him. I was like, "Oh fuck!" He stood up. He tried to leave twice, and Waller wouldn't let him. So he fucking clocked him. He hit him with that power slam, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So that was good. The Carmelo Apollo match was good. I thought that was a good match.
Who won that match?
Carmelo won that match.
So Apollo hasn't won a single match since going back to NXT.
I think he's there up in,
I think what we're going to see is we're going to see a change where we see certain guys get called up and then Apollo will finally get his.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and then they had who was it?
But let me ask you, because it's this weekend that we've got the NXT thing, right? New Year's Evil? It's this weekend.
I thought it was Tuesday.
I thought it was Saturday. I thought it was a premium live event.
I don't think so. I think next premium live is Vengeance Day, but I might be wrong.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
Tuesday
Yeah, Vengeance Day. But so let me ask you: does Grayson Waller beat Braun Breaker?
And I hate it.
I don't hate it.
I think Braun's getting called up.
So he's got to do the honors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree completely, and I think he shows up in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And much as I hate it, Grayson's probably the best. He's got the in ring.
Oh, he's ready for it, dude.
He's LA Knight.
He's not even LA Knight. He is. I mean,
it's the chicken shit hill.
I mean, AJ Styles wanted to work with him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that real quick. AJ Styles breaking his ankle.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention on Raw the thing that fucking made me laugh. Dominic said that prison changed him. He had a teardrop.
You know what? I love it though. I love it.
And he started calling. I think you're right. He's getting more to the Eddie because he said "mommy" and he called her "Mamacita."
I'm telling you, dude. Like,
dude, but him saying prison and had all the white and prison changes the man. Like, bitch, you were in 24 hours.
Well, and they try to make it say like I served hard time, and it's like you
went to county lockup for 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I got the teardrop already.
We've all done that.
Oh,
you know. Like, but yeah, it's like, but you notice how long his mullet's getting and everything. Like he's. But I'll tell you, I'm bought in.
I just I forgot to say that
because you know at the Royal Rumble he's gonna toss Ray out.
And the shirt that he's got now was "I'm not gonna make it in jail." I think they were talking making that to a shirt.
I love that. I can't make it in jail. I felt that way. I felt that way. But
sorry, but so
but
AEW.
Where do you want to start?
What the hell
You
was that?
are beautiful on the
So
inside.
fucking tired of that.
Except, who lost that match?
Jericho lost that match.
Jericho versus Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks won that match.
It was a hell fought match. It was a good.
It was fun, and I would not have said, "Hey, as the booker, Jericho loses." No, I'd have been like, "Jericho goes over."
But the way
Like we're gonna do it where Jake Hager comes in and causes a distraction, and then Ricky Starks gets rolled up. That's how I would have done it. But no,
it worked. It worked. Now they fucked him up at the end of the match.
of course,
Yeah.
And that's gonna be because they're gonna lead to the Ricky Starks versus Jericho at Revolution.
Yeah.
But Action Andretti making the save.
The power because he got burnt. The fireball.
And I loved it. I love the fact that they actually kept it in story,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, I'm like, fucking Action Andretti comes out with one chair and he's going to take down the whole Jericho appreciation. No fucking way.
He did for a minute.
And then he didn't. And then he didn't. Okay, then we also had Saraya
yes.
like saying who her mystery partner was gonna
Did
be.
you see the look on Sheeta's face when she did it? Or Sheeta.
Well, I like the fact that she had both of them sitting there, right?
But she just disrespectfully turned her back. So you're gonna be my partner, and this is what we're gonna do. If I'd been a car sheet, I'd have slapped that bitch in the back of the head.
Except an idea that's been passed around the internet is that Sheeta's gonna get pissed off, take out Tony Storm,
And that's how they're gonna get Monet.
and then the rumor is that Mercedes Moné may show up because, however, I do have to say there is rumor that WWE has an agreement with Mercedes Moné.
Contracts on that. That's why she couldn't go to AEW yet.
But they have an agreement with her that when she does sign with an American company, it'll be back with WWE. That's the rumor. And here's why. So a lot of people think that, okay, let's sign with AEW, right? Let's become the women's world champion over there. What she's thinking is, I don't want a long-term contract. And AEW right now is signing everybody to 3-year minimums, which means being stuck with a company where if you've looked at the background, how many of those women or men in 3-year contracts actually become your top dog, right? Whereas if she sits there and goes, hey, I'll work with New Japan, may work a match or two with AEW because I'm with New Japan, I could get my name out there more, whatever, but then I don't have to sign the long-term deal. So don't be surprised if what she's trying to do is like the Cardona deal.
Okay.
Of getting your name out there, making yourself even bigger of a star.
She's doing the Drew Cody thing.
Yeah. But Cardona is who's doing it right now.
Oh, okay.
Cardona is like making himself a bigger and bigger star.
So he can come back as Zack Ryder.
I think he's coming back as Matt Cardona.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
he's coming back at the Royal Rumble.
They don't know that. That's why I don't know if they'll let him do that.
I think they let him do it because Matt Cardona is a much bigger star than just having a random Zack Ryder show up.
Ooh, you know it.
Hey, I love radio.
Yes. I wonder if he'll still come back with all that shit and just be Matt Cardona. Because I like that theme and I like that.
I think
you know it.
So I'll tell you what I think is actually going to happen.
What they probably will tease it at the Royal Rumble when he comes back. Though
I think he comes back as Zack Ryder, and then the very next night on Monday Night Raw, he comes out and he's like, "F that," except however you can actually say it. And he's like, Zack Ryder is dead.
Well, Drew McIntyre came back as Drew McIntyre. He didn't come back as Drew Galloway.
Well, he wouldn't. I mean, Drew Galloway wasn't technically bigger than Drew McIntyre.
He was. He left, did all that shit, and came back. That's why they brought him back.
You know, the
He's
one big difference.
Drew Galloway.
The one big difference is that Drew went to NXT. He got hurt. Otherwise, he would have.
Chelsea Green. She come back as Chelsea Green, or she come back?
She's always been Chelsea Green.
Oh, okay.
So that one's easy.
All right, I digress. So
yeah.
The tag team champion. Which thing of that match? They did the referee bump and they won the belts, and then Aubrey came out and said, No. Sanjay put his foot on the rope.
Well, it wasn't just Aubrey. It was like the ring announcer said it too.
Well, yeah, because Aubrey told her to. You didn't see that.
Oh yeah.
They're hanging out in the ring talking to the ring announcer.
I saw that and I was like, who's that woman that they're talking to? Like, why is she there?
Because Justin Roberts' mom is sick.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So that moment, I'm sitting there like, I can't believe they took the belts off the Acclaimed for Jeff Jarrett. Like, Jay Lethal.
Total non-stop Acclaim.
What?
Total non-stop Acclaim, according to the rap he did. Going down the ring, he ripped him again. I'm like, you didn't learn, Dixon.
But what I'm saying is Jay Lethal is a top tier talent.
Yeah, he doesn't need a tag team.
He doesn't need any belt. He is going to be whatever you want him to be. And if you ever do something where you're like, we need a challenger for a world title, that guy can
do the
do
ROH world title. That's what I thought they were going to put it on.
Me too. Though they put it on Claudio, and we know why. Because Claudio deserved a world title, but he doesn't deserve the AEW world title. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, he's this good, but we're going to put him this good. Which is exactly what Vince did. Like, I'm sorry.
I don't think he had a belt. He had the tag belts. I don't think he had a
He never had
singles belt.
He might have had Intercontinental at one point or US. Maybe. I'm just saying maybe.
Yeah.
I'm saying maybe. But anyway, the Acclaim versus Jeff Jarrett and everything else. You probably saw all the stuff that came out this week about how Max Caster's saying what he did about Jeff Jarrett and his wife. Like, just threw everything for a tizzy, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm going to give you a receipt. And
I smacked the shit out of him.
I bet they both said, just hit me.
But here's the thing. You and I both said I don't think he would have come out, especially bringing Jeff, that person. I think he had to clear it with somebody.
Oh, agreed.
So you think now Karen's is her part shoot or work?
Let me start with this. Do I think what Jeff Jarrett...
I'm sorry, because Jarrett went off on his podcast too, so we all...
Do I think what Jeff Jarrett said on his podcast wasn't approved? No. And here's why. Because Jeff Jarrett's a professional. He's a 2-time Hall of Famer. He also knows that his contract is dictated by who he puts over at 50-something years old. It's not going to be about him winning matches. Like, yes, does he bring more to the table by actually, like, knowing what to do backstage and whatever?
Yes.
Sure. But he's already done the whole, let me bury everybody, let me do this, let me do that, let me sit there and try to get myself over. Like, he doesn't need to do that at this point. He's a 2-time Hall of Famer. I hate him. I don't like him. I literally last night while watching the match sat there and said Ric Flair called he wants his hair back. But at the same time, there is no denying that what he has done, even in the last 6 months, isn't deserving of what he's getting.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to sit there and say Billy Gunn at 55 years old deserves to be in a match, why is not Jeff Jarrett, who is able to go at the same level as Billy Gunn?
Look at Billy Gunn, Jesus.
Jeff Jarrett's in great shape too. And let me go ahead and say, at 62 years old, if we're not sitting there like saying that those two guys should be able to go, why the fuck are we letting Sting jump off rafters?
That's true.
Speaking of that,
The one spot in that match that I actually went, oh fuck, is when Joe choke slammed him on those steps.
so start at the beginning of the match.
Ooh.
Like talk about who you're talking about.
Okay, so we're talking about the TNT Championship between Samoa
Main
Joe.
event.
The main event was Samoa Joe and Darby Allin. Darby Allin attacked before the bell with that skateboard, and when he jumped off that stage onto his back with that skateboard with the wheels, I'm like, oh shit. So they fought back and forth. Obviously, Joe is going to he had his power game going, so he pretty much whooped his ass majority of that match. Darby had in some good offense, but seemed like, and they even said on commentary, for every 2 strikes that he got on Joe hit him with a big one.
And Darby was battling from underneath the entire match. Absolutely.
Now the spot I'm talking about, when I thought he broke his back and killed him, it made me, I was like, oh fuck, I literally said that. So outside the ring, where the steel stairs are, Joe picked him up
and choke slammed him,
and the stairs
like an accordion,
right in the middle of his back. I'm like, oh my god.
And I immediately sat there.
There's no way you could. I won't say fake that. He slammed it. He took that. His back should have been broken. I mean, I know he was hurt.
You've met my buddy Mike, Matt, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can give him those stairs.
Matt sat there and he's like, "Why is that 110-pound dude in the ring with it?" And what did Darby say about his weight at the end of that?
I didn't see it.
I sent you the video.
You told me about it. You didn't send me the video.
Oh, okay. So after the match happened, Darby Allin said, a lot of people said I'd never actually finish high school, and I said I'd finish high school at 115 pounds. Well, shit, I'm only 120 pounds now, and now look at me. And the reason why I bring this up, folks, is because, like, Tino and I have talked about Darby Allin's size multiple times and how he's billed at, 170 pounds?
Is he?
I think he's billed at 170. And the whole time I'm watching that match, I'm like, realistically, there is no way. And I don't care if you sit there and bring up Rey Mysterio being a multiple-time world champion. There is no way Darby Allin is beating Joe. There's no way. Joe is so over. Joe is 3 times the size of him.
Yeah, but again, they made it the way he went over. They made it believable.
The difference
slipped on a banana peel.
But the difference is this: is that typically, when you have the little guy win against the big guy, it's because he's so much faster and everything. The thing about Joe is Joe has always been billed as the guy that is that big, who is that fast. So it's not the same situation. It literally is, Joe has everything you have, and he's 3 times your size. So when Joe loses that match last night, if you didn't watch it, sorry. When he loses that match, he loses it because they kind of pull the turnbuckle off. And then Darby ends up hitting 2 coffin drops.
Nope. Joe went up, hit his head on the turnbuckle. Well, it wasn't even the turnbuckle. If you look, if you go back and look, he didn't hit the turnbuckle. He went over and hit that pole.
The post.
If you go back and look,
because the turnbuckle still had something on it. So Joe, as a professional,
anyway, he hit the post, and when he came back, his momentum, what's his name, was able to hit the code red, which dazed him again.
What's the code red?
Where he did that. It's kind of like a Canadian destroyer.
Which he never, at 120 pounds, should ever be able to do to Joe.
Yeah, oh man, if Joe's wobbly like he was, because he's okay, fuck you, because this whole thing is about suspending belief. Fuck you, Rob.
I just
fuck you, Rob.
I just think that it's okay. we're doing our first show in Seattle. We're going to give a Seattle guy the world champion. Or we're going to give him that championship. And that's exactly what happened. It completely completely dissolved the storyline that Joe was working on with Wardlow.
No, because Joe, I think, because it's January, they're getting closer to whatever they're doing already.
Ring of Honor, I know.
So
and
Joe's
that's
going
exactly what I said too. But Wardlow's pissed off that he took his TNT championship. Well, now he doesn't have that.
No, I'll build something with damn Darby. I mean, I don't know. But
you know what I mean. I mean,
they could have Wardlow fucking take Joe's title. I don't know. They ain't doing shit with him in fucking AEW. Put on ROH.
I have the same problem with Darby Allin beating Joe as I do with how long the Swerve Scott match happened. Because Swerve should have taken that guy that I've never heard of and beaten him in 38 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And it took like 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Don't get me wrong. But the fact is,
Swerve was playing with him. He wasn't. And that's the thing. That's the thing I don't like. Is you're right. He should have beat him. But I think, they were trying to make Swerve. I don't know for what reason.
Because he's also from Washington State.
Or no, I think they were trying to build him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to have to face Keith Lee. So I don't know. So they're going to make him like an ass. So I can beat this guy anytime I want.
But they didn't even have Keith Lee show up.
Keith Lee? The fucker jumped on his chest while he was laying on the stairs through a cinder block. Yeah, they're going to keep you off TV for a while.
But where would be the best place to bring him back when Swerve is sitting there in his hometown, sitting there going, hey, look at how great I am. I just literally beat this guy in 2 minutes. That's the perfect time when he's the heel. I think he's going to keep fucking. He's going to pull a Jericho. He's going to keep fucking with these younger guys and fucking around and braggadocious and nobody can beat me. And then fucking, that's when Keith Lee comes back and says, I don't even disagree with you. I actually think that that's a very
it's probably
valid point. Game. I don't like a lot of the booking currently. Yeah. Speaking of which, next week we have.
I'm not watching it. I refuse.
So do you start Dynamite with the match you don't want to watch, or do you end Dynamite with the match you don't want to watch?
End it so I can watch everything else.
See, I figure you just wait until somebody sends you a text message that says, "Okay, it's over." You can watch the next hour and a half.
I don't.
Because I do want to talk about one other moment in Dynamite. Bryan Danielson.
Oh yeah. Tony Nese, wasn't it?
Talking to MJF. Oh. Beating Tony Nese is one thing. I mean, like they had done that in WWE. And Tony Nese is a great wrestler. Don't get me wrong. And
I forgot how stat he was.
He
fucker's cut.
That dude is built. Yeah, absolutely.
When he was talking to his bicep when they were doing ring introductions, he's like, "Why the fuck are you having a conversation with your bicep, bitch?"
There's a 13-minute back and forth between him and Danielson.
Because Danielson first like, "No, I don't want to fight you."
Well, but I mean, like MJF sits there and even says stuff like, why do I want to face the guy that chokes all the time? And then he sits there and says, something about your mom and
that shit was hilarious.
And Danielson sits there and says, well, I've heard your mom has actually had most of the people in this arena.
I said if your mom had playtime with a goat. Like shit.
Yeah, because MJF sat there and said,
just because you look like a goat doesn't mean you're the greatest of all time.
Just because you look like a goat, you're not the greatest of all time. And I've apparently heard that Mama Danielson didn't necessarily have relations with a man. Yeah. So of course, Jim Brewer saying "Goat Boy" and all that.
That shit was hilarious.
But But they continued that, and they got to the point where they announced if Danielson for the next month,
so what, January 8th
to February 8th,
February 8th,
can make it through all of his matches as a winner, he gets MJF
for the Triple B, baby.
for the Triple B, the Burberry. What is it?
It's the what was it? The big Burberry belt.
The big Burberry belt. In an Iron Man match.
1 hour.
Well, let's be real. When it comes to men's Iron Man matches, it's always an hour. If it's anything less than that, it's not really an Iron Man match. And it's because Danielson sat there and said, I'm going to expose you.
That he said you're not be able to be disqualified to keep your belt.
So this is what I want to ask you, Tino. And everybody in the audience, I want to ask this too, because I see we got a pretty good crowd. Especially with Samoa Joe being part of the X Division. Yeah, absolutely. The speed and everything. When we talk about the possibility of an Iron Man match between MJF and Danielson, we know Danielson has already done it.
Yes.
He did it 12 months ago. In fact, I was writing up the Potsy and Tino year-end awards.
Who was it? Was it Jerry?
No. It was Hangman Page. And I was trying to come up with 4 matches from AEW that and I was like, when was that? Was that last year or was that this year? And it was like the first episode of Dynamite.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, we're gonna make sure we. So by the way, everybody, we're gonna try to post on the Facebook page our awards so that way people can vote on them and everything else. And next week,
okay,
we sit there and we post them. But everybody's wondering. MJF, who wrestled a total.
Yeah. And that's why he said he's going to expose him. That's one of the points that
a total.
Daniel said, because I've been doing this and you don't wrestle. He said, I'm going to check your cardio.
But a total of 7 matches.
I bet you he's not going to wrestle again until that match. Because remember, he said he's not going to defend the belt.
He's not going to defend the belt, but I bet they force him to work 1 match between then and now. But let me ask you. Does he get through that match and prove the naysayers wrong that he is as good as everybody says? Or as good as he says?
With help, he will. Because think about it.
He doesn't have anybody anymore.
He still has because they still said something about you're putting your nose in MJF's business. Yeah, Stokely's still talking about that. He's his best friend. There's no way. There's no way he's got the cardio. So I don't think they don't do house shows.
They don't.
If he's not wrestling on TV, how's he fucking staying in ring shape?
Well, how does Danielson?
He fucking wrestles every fucking week.
But he doesn't wrestle an hour.
But his cardio still won't. And I guess unless it's outside, because he was saying, do you do the calisthenics? Do you do the leg? So he was saying all the stuff he does to keep his cardio up.
Because I mean, now we're going back a year, right? When we look back to when he went against Hangman for that hour, Danielson had a different like, you put it in 4th. He put it in 5th.
Yeah.
And Hangman didn't have that.
No.
And Hangman was the champ.
Yep.
Hangman held on to the belt.
Don't know how.
We know how. Danielson said, I don't care about the championship. Which is sad because right now...
Does he care now?
I don't think so. I don't think he cares about winning the belt. Should he? Goddamn right he should. He, in this moment, like, this should have been a bigger build up to, oh, I get to call the match. I get to tell you what kind of match I want. Like, you've dogged me at every chance for the last 8 weeks or whatever. I'll tell you what kind of match I want.
He did that.
But he didn't. Because he hasn't been dogged for 8 weeks. He hasn't been dogged from being like, oh, we could do this kind of match, we could do this kind of match, we could do that. You know, like, and that's where I'm saying it. Like I really think there's a moment there where they could have built this story to an Iron Man match.
All right.
And in fact, a best 2 out of 3, except the problem is you have the best out of 7 garbage. Tino, I think we need to.
No, I think we need to get the fuck out of here. What time was it?
I don't know.
No, what's the thing say?
Oh, it says 1:30.
Yes.
But I mean, like,
We've already discussed it and how disgusting it is and how it's bullshit. I don't think we can do it anymore.
well, we have to add something to it. This week, Wrestle Kingdom 17. Will Ospreay, the best wrestler in New Japan, went up against Kenny Omega. Who won?
Probably fucking Kenny Omega.
Why?
Because he wins all the fucking time. He can't lose. His fucking ego's too big.
So, talk more about that.
His ego's too big. That's all I gotta say. He's a fucking asshole, prima donna. His ego's too big. He can't fucking lose, or he's gonna cry.
So the reason why I wanted Tino to say all this is because everybody knows how I feel about this. The fact of the matter is that when the match ended, the one-winged angel happened and Kenny Omega beat Will Ospreay, probably under the belief that there's going to be a return receipt. But I don't think there is. I think Kenny Omega, kind of like what he did with the AAA World Championship, is going to figure out a way to sit there and go, oh, my knee is blown out and I can't do that. And Will Ospreay just
has to eat it. Has to eat it.
And you're stuck in that situation. And I hate that.
Yeah.
Because we're a week away from the Elite versus Death Triangle. And Tino?
The only thing that would make me happy is if Will Ospreay comes and makes them lose that championship. Somehow interferes as a payback.
It wouldn't even make me happy because I think that Death Triangle deserves a clean victory.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
But what you just said right there, it's not gonna happen. The only team that deserves to walk out with that belt next week
It's the team that has it around their waist now.
is Death Triangle.
They need to retain.
And you're absolutely right. And unfortunately,
What's Blitzball say?
the Billy Goat and the Cleaner. I don't know what you're talking about there, Jason. The Billy Goat? Is that
I think it's talking about Danielson and
I don't want to see Danielson lose to Kenny Omega because Danielson is easily the better wrestler. And in that company, unfortunately, it means Danielson loses that match.
Danielson and Moxley are fucking both better wrestlers.
Moxley's not a wrestler. Moxley is a better brawler and a better showman. But he's not a better wrestler.
Ospreay is
Oh, he's saying Will Ospreay is really good. The match was excellent. I agree. The wrong person went over. And Kenny Omega should have shoved his fucking ego up his own goddamn ass and sat there and said, I'm willing to do the right thing and put Will Ospreay over.
Nope.
Because Will Ospreay has sat there and put every other AEW guy over for the last since the company's been around. It's fucking garbage. Will Ospreay literally is probably one of the best 3 wrestlers in the world. Kenny Omega isn't even the best wrestler in AEW right now. Am I wrong?
Nope.
I mean, Bryan Danielson's probably the best wrestler in AEW right now. And if not, John Moxley, like you said, Hangman Adam Page,
Fucking Cesaro.
MJF. My point is, he's the world champion. He has an argument to the claim.
I want to say, what's his name? Will Yuta.
So I started coming up with best wrestler WWE, best wrestler AEW, best female wrestler WWE, best female wrestler, and then I started going breakout wrestler.
Well, I think fucking WWE, the
break for NXT at least to break out, and the best is the same person.
So when I was writing it, I was like WWE, which includes NXT,
okay, well,
AEW, WWE women, WWE or AEW women, WWE tag team, AEW tag team, and I wasn't even taking into account like other like smaller brands because I was figuring I'd get down to it where I'd be like indie and do that. But when I came up with the whole idea of breakout wrestler of the year for WWE, I had Braun Breaker, I had Grayson Waller, I had Carmelo Hayes,
he's probably number 1,
and I had Mandy Rose.
Yep. Yeah.
Suddenly, you got to be thinking, okay, because he added Mandy Rose. That's actually very difficult to figure out who I want to actually say is the, because Braun Breaker probably should be, but Mandy Rose held that title for 412 days during the entire year.
I think other than that, out of all of them, yes, if you're doing a female of the year, Mandy.
No, that's why I put her against everybody else. Because I
think it's too tight between her and Carmelo, in my opinion. But
that's why I wanted to throw it, because what I want to do is put them on the Facebook page and say, go ahead and choose. And I'm going to send, by the way, folks, I'm going to send all these over to Tino. So if he actually has any that he goes, I'd rather you do this one than this one, we'll throw them in, because but immediately when I sit there and I go Braun Breaker, Mandy Rose, Carmelo Hayes, and Grayson Waller, like it's a
that's just NXT.
Well, that's because breakout star.
What about LA Knight?
Well, LA Knight's already been around. He didn't really break out. What's he done in the matches since he came back? Hasn't really broken out. That's my point.
There's no breakout on the main roster, then, is what you're saying.
No, I almost put Dominic Mysterio.
What Cody.
He's
Yeah,
not really a
he's been
breakout
out.
star because he was also up for AEW Match of the Year.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
So that's what I'm saying. Like I want to send these out to Tino, and by the end of January we will have our actual awards list. But I know Tino wants to get out of here, so I want to see if there's anything else that we need to talk about. Oh, yeah, real quick. And when I say real quick, here we go. Mercedes Moné.
Terrible hair.
I mean, it was vibrant.
That's a word.
It was vibrant.
That's a word.
I mean, she took full advantage of 4K hair. If you are part of our Facebook group, then you have also seen that they re-established the picture that was done when they all were part of NXT with FTR, Bailey, and Sasha, and now it's Mercedes, Bailey, and FTR.
Yeah.
However, if you notice, if you look in certain places, Naomi has been removed from the picture, but from our picture, she's still in there. So there's that. And the big one, Tino. Vince McMahon has posted a statement to the shareholders and awarded himself the chief executive position of WWE.
Isn't that already taken?
By either his son-in-law or daughter.
Well, his daughter and Nick Khan are the chief executive officers. But he put himself in like chief executive chairman or something like.
He made up some shit.
It's kind of what it looks like. And I've been trying to figure it all out because he said that the reason why it was important for him to put himself in this position was to align himself with the other shareholders when they came up with what to do with the video rights and everything. So when the next contract comes up for SmackDown, Raw, NXT.
So what he's saying is he doesn't trust or have faith that they'll do the right thing or they know what they're doing pretty much.
Well, he said it was to create a set playing field that they all agree on it.
He doesn't think they know how to do that.
It's weird because it didn't say anything about him taking creative back over.
He's Vince fucking McMahon. It'll take him a while. He'll come around to doing it. Well, I think this is better. I'm like, you'll sit your old senile ass down somewhere.
Well, so everything that I've read, and I know you want to get off of here, but this is crazy shit, dude. Because this came out today. Because after hours today, the WWE stock price went up 10%. All of it is basically saying that that the WWE, he's trying to say that he wants it to have he wants to make sure that everybody knows that the top shareholder, him, is in agreement with whatever video service rights thing that they pull up, or if they decide to sell the company. And that's where it becomes interesting. Because originally, everybody thought Vince was doing everything he could to prevent the sale of the company.
Yeah, if he said, if I can't have it, nobody can.
But I think what he's saying now is, how do I maximize the most amount of money that I get out of this? And if the stock price continues to go up, anybody that tries to buy it is going to have to offer a premium on the stock price. So a 10% increase today could still equal another 30% increase on the stock price. Buy the stock, is what I'm saying. I own some, by the way. But that's how crazy this shit is. $79 as of right now.
A share?
Yeah.
I'll buy a share.
That's funny. But that's probably the most interesting wrestling news going on right now. Because we very well could see every good moment that we've seen in the WWE in the last 6 months negated. The one that I don't think would be, and I told you this before we went on the air, Cody Rhodes. And the whole reason why is because Vince McMahon agreed that everything that Cody Rhodes did outside the company was worth bringing into the company.
Okay.
Interesting though, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, Tino. I'm done.
Oh, me too.
Well,
shit.
You know what it is.
No, you know what it is. I'm down. I don't do your 50 million social medias anymore. I can't remember them all.
I don't have 15 million.
You got like 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Berry said, I would rather see Steph and Paul and Nick run WWE than have Vince come back. 100% agree.
I agree with that.
And Chris Barrett, we're wondering if you said that because you knew I would actually read that on the air.
Probably.
However, we're calling it a night. So, with that said, Twitter at Potcheck. Facebook at Rob Potsy Potcheck.
Snapchat.
What is my Snapchat?
I don't know.
Is it Rob Potsy Potcheck or Rob?
Probably.
It's probably Rob Potsy Potcheck.
TikTok.
TikTok is Rob Potsy Potcheck. YouTube is Rob Potcheck. And you're watching right now. Instagram, Rob Potcheck and Rob Potsy Potcheck.
You forgot all your comics.
I mean, they can find those from me. So that's it.
Twitch.
Rob Potsy Potcheck.
I think you're missing some. Missing two. But that's 8. That's 8, bitch. I got Facebook, Tino Gray, and we also have Potsy and Tino show. Twitter, I'm HoodieFan90. I would punch you in the dick. HoodieFan91. On Twitter, we're also Potsy and Tino.
I'm laughing so hard. It hurts.
Instagram, I'm SC Tino. Until next time, folks, we want to say thank you to Adam's House Cat for a wrestling song. Which
was
is
this
our
a good
theme
show?
Song. You were drunk, but it's okay. It was 99 cents. Yes, bitch, you were. We want to say give us a thumb up and a like. Buy our shit. What else we say?
I don't think I was drunk. I think I was on medication because, like, I was on painkillers. But okay.
You were on a lead, motherfucker.
No.
Anyway, peace out. I gotta deal with this. All right, you guys be safe. We'll see you next week with our end of the year review. So that'll probably be most of the show anyway. So.
We're gonna try to post up the year-end awards and everything to the Facebook page if you're not already part of the wrestling and comics page.
Yeah, and I want to get and hopefully we can get Blitzball actually on the show.
Yeah, we actually want to. We do want to put Jason on the show. He says justice for Sumi Sakai. He did put that. She's still wearing her orthopedic
I don't
Skechers.
know. She might not be able to get them on by herself.
You know what, Jason, you might have to help her with those shoes.
Can't get them strapped.
And with that, good night, everybody. Thank you so much. We love you guys.
Tony Schiavone to be the man.